Well, Lucas, I'm glad you could join for this conversation. I'm excited to glean from your learning. I always feel like as I get to do these interviews, it feels like free consulting that I get to experience. But also it's great. It's blessing to our community. So we're going to be talking about B2B sales for SaaS startups and SaaS companies. And so yeah, Lucas, will you introduce yourself? Kind of tell us a little bit about your experience in this space.
Yeah, thank you, David. So yeah, my name is Lucas Muniz, and I currently have my own business. It's called Sales Network LLC, and the business is a consulting for SaaS companies who want to scale their sales. And doesn't matter, no matter what growth stage this startup is at. We basically find out exactly where you are, what the best next steps are going to be, and even if it relates to, let's say, if you need some help that's not specifically for sales, we partner up with whoever is needed the most. Let's say a marketing agency, if that's the case, or just guide you to the next step if we can help. But usually, there's always something sales related that needs to get done, before the company reaches that next stage. So yeah, I've been working in sales for the last 20 plus years. I used to work even, when I was a teenager with my dad, and worked in different industries and myriad different industries. Worked in tech a long time ago. The times of, not sure if anyone is here familiar with Boral and Cool Gear. That's when I was introduced to tech sales, and then I worked in different industries and came back. So I chose software as a service, B2B, just because I noticed that a huge amount of, let's say, majority of cases, the processes can be replicated. And even with all the personalization, even all with the nuances of each case, at least, let's say, the rules that I talk with, they usually apply pretty well across, across all the different SaaS products. So yeah, I'm here matching challenges with tech solutions.
No, I love that, Lucas. And I appreciate that. Yeah, like you calling out even that, yeah, well, each of our businesses we have like nuances and unique things about them, but those same principles, just like in our framework, the same principles of growth apply at different stages. Same thing you're saying. It's like, hey, you may be offering a different product or a different promise, but the process, the principles of sales, and especially these B2B SaaS sales, they apply broadly. And so you're helping people see through all of the chaos and clutter and go, hey, these are the things that you need to double down on. This is how we're going to help you get there. And that clarity is so valuable. So I'm excited. Let's just kind of dive in to talk through some of these stages here. And so the event stage, that is when then either there's any sort of shift, and that can be a shift externally in the market. So like something totally changes in the market, or changes regulatory wise, or there's a pandemic and everyone has to live in their houses for a really long time, or it can be something internal where you can have a merger or an acquisition, or even companies splitting things up to subdivide aspects of their company. It could just even be a reorg. That's an event, even if it doesn't change kind of the boundaries of your company. But anytime you run into these events, they can be disruptive. They can be good events. They can be bad events. They can be, uncertain, where you're like, I don't know if this is going to play out well for us. So if speak maybe specifically to someone who is leading sales at a B2B SaaS company when they hit one of these events. And some of them, some of them you kind of see it coming. We're like, okay, we're moving towards an acquisition and I'm in the know. But a lot of events happen, they take us off guard. They kind of happen by surprise, or without a ton of warning. So if someone is leading sales in a B2B SaaS company, what guidance would you give them as they come into an event stage like this?
Got it. Well, from the perspective of any leader, not only sales, definitely this is a time of uncertainty, and I believe that the people who need you the most are your employees, your team. So basically, while navigating through those shifty waters, got to make sure that your team is they feel help. They feel sorry, I forgot the word. They feel secure. They feel safe in the
Yeah.
sense that, hey, I'm not gonna start freaking out. I'm not gonna start looking for a job elsewhere. I'm not gonna be, afraid, scared, because that affects the sales. So that's the first time when I come here to say like that the focus at this present moment is not number one on your customer and your customers anymore, even though it is. It's like sharing. Let's say you're sharing two focuses. The number one focus is not only the customer, is also your team, because navigating through those waters can be pretty tricky. Depends on the event, right? Sometimes an acquisition can make you look like, okay, who was acquired, and that plays a little bit with that advantage I told you, of your brand being very respectable, because people start like, oh, they got acquired by this. So people start doing some judgment sometimes, like, oh, so the other product is better. Also, they are more successful or what? So just got to make sure that whatever change happens, if it didn't come from you, it came from, the strategic planning from the CEO and the chief revenue officer. And if you didn't have much of a saying on that, you still got to embrace it, because that's the only way. And of course, if you have a saying on it, the strategic planning, you got to be only thinking on what good can come out of it. So if from the sales perspective, you are part of, that decision, try not to see only the half empty cup, because you might think, oh my God, but a new technology came and it's taking out, a huge slice of our pizza here. Think, in other ways. Okay, can we have the same technology, or what else can we do to compete better, or are there other services or and that we can, focus on and take advantage on the respectful brand, the brand awareness that people already respect us for, and go full force on catching that market. Whatever it is, it's got to always be about the next step, like going forward. Can never be. It's dangerous to be thinking about what you're losing. Let's say this way. So it's always going to be from a positive way. Okay, what it's going to be moving forward, and sometimes that makes the whole difference. The kind of positive thoughts can keep the team motivated, and the team might be way more adaptable than you previously thought. Because I worked with companies before that were passing through those mergers, and the one that the most recent one, it was actually very positive. It was a merger that new teams came in, and some people got fired, and the thing was a little, as I said, uncertainty, right? But the uncertainty, I think it plays out more negatively to whoever's being negative about it. Because if you're proactive within the company, and if you're proactive with your leaders, you're finding, but it's clear whoever is trying to adapt fast, and you're seeing the half cup. Oh, sorry.
The
Can you
cup is
say
half full. Yeah.
yes? The half full.
Yeah.
Whoever is making effort already towards the next steps, those are the ones who will survive in a scenario that, if anything, if there's mass layoffs or anything like that. But let's say definitely take care of your team as well. Because as I said, the uncertain times. Okay, I already talked about the teams. Let's talk about sales pitch. Let's talk about the market. Let's talk about the change management when it comes to your efforts. So the messaging sometimes got to shift, right? Got to shift fast. So got to do in a way that's it. Whatever it's happening, you got to see from the positive way. You got to give those hopes, those the half full cup messaging also to your audience, to your current customers, to your potential new customers. It's basically like, hey guys, this is happening, so I'm not going to avoid talking about it. Just want to be the first one actually communicating with you guys about it, because I don't want rumors to take away our momentum here. So hear from us. This is what's happening. Sorry if some some changes. We got to adapt to some changes here and there, but this is the direction that we're going towards, and this is how you can count on us from now on. And please let's meet. Please let's talk. So you got to lead that, be the glue between your customers and you, between your team, your sales team, and your company. So yeah, so basically you got to lead that change, even if the change wasn't made by you, because you got to be ahead. Also having tell on everything. So sometimes you got to focus also on the customer behavior. How are they reacting to it? What they're talking about it? The market dynamics. Like, are you getting some churn because of the event that's happening right now? Like, what's the competitor response?
Yeah.
If there is a competitor that's doing the same thing and they're passing there's something to the same thing as you're passing right now? If it's not a merger, if it's something in the
Right.
market that happened, how are they reacting? So, got to be very strategic and try to lead, as I said, lead with positiveness. Because if there's this uncertainty in the market, you got to be the one
Yeah.
leading the thought of certainty of,
Mhm.
hey, if there's something uncertain, this is what's certain. So either with customers like, hey, if this is uncertain, you can be certain that we're going to be working with you, that we're going to keep providing this solution, or keep certain that we're going to act in your best interest and add this product, or we're going to go in the same direction. So hold on, or whatever it is. You got to lead the messaging of certainty in what comes next.
That makes a lot of sense, Lucas. Of yeah, because any change, good or bad, in a sense, creates uncertainty. And I like how you are giving that exhortation to, hey, look at the positive. Don't just live on the negative, or you kind of, it's a little like a self-fulfilling prophecy. A lot of times when you focus on the negative, you kind of get the negative.
Yeah.
But in both senses, I really appreciate how you called out, hey, you've got to lead internally your team really well. You have to, because that change creates that uncertainty, like you said, and we can kind of feel untethered, like a boat that's been untied, and you're like, am I floating away? Where's the dock? Where am I trying to go? Especially for internal teams. But then even that uncertainty for your customer. And so I appreciate, yeah, leading with direction internally and guidance, but also leading with clear message and kind of going, hey, let's look, kind of even in a way, going back to those earlier stages of like, hey, what's the impact of our product? What's the benefit on the customer? And what's the value to that customer of that impact and that benefit? Well, hey, okay, in light of this change, let's remind them like, hey, we're making this change and here's a positive impact of it. Here's how it's going to benefit you. Here's what that might even be worth as we're combining with this other company, or as we see this changing in the market. This is how we are. I mean, it comes back to what you said earlier about like always being the one who's finding solutions. And it really does in a unexpected moment. It gives you a chance to really show up in that way, like you said, of like, hey, I've we saw this as it came and we're for you, and so here's what we've thought through as a customer that we want to help succeed in these changing times. Here's what we're doing as a company to help you. That comes across really strongly but also really kind.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this company's on my side, because if it's a market change, then it probably is affecting your customer too, you know like you're saying. And so in that sense, you have a chance to position yourself really well, and actually let that uncertain moment actually strengthen that bond with your customer. So I like how you framed that out for us. And well, I just want to say thank you for for spending this time and really blessing our community with your expertise. And I'm glad you're with us on the platform so people can come and find you if they want more and really get to leverage your expertise. So I appreciate it.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to doing more of these type of things together in the future.
Thank you, David. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Also, we passed the time quite a bit.
Yep.
Appreciate the conversation, and thank you as well for being a great host and for making my messages a little concise, a little more concise. Thank you very much.
No, I love it. That's awesome.